Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, you can't seem to make the right decision? You've second-guessed yourself, replayed moments in your head, and wondered if things would have been better if you chose differently. Let me share something powerful. There's no such thing as a wrong decision. Every step you take, every mistake, every success adds to the story of your life. Even the most frustrating moments are shaping your path in ways you might not see yet. The universe isn't random, it's guiding you, even when the journey feels messy or unpredictable. Today, let's explore why overthinking and doubting yourself isn't helping. We'll talk about how trusting your path, no matter how uncertain, can lead to incredible opportunities. Your journey is working in your favor. Trust me, you're already on the right track. Let's start with a story. Imagine a young woman named Maya. She had two job offers, one with a high salary but long hours, and another that paid less but promised a better work-life balance. She agonized over the decision, convinced that one choice was right and the other wrong. After much deliberation, she picked the high-paying job. 6 months in, she realized she hated it and regretted her choice. But here's what Maya didn't know at the time. That wrong decision set the stage for her greatest breakthrough. Her frustration pushed her to start a side hustle, something she was deeply passionate about. Within a year, her side business grew, and she left her job to pursue her dream full-time. This story shows how the idea of right and wrong is an illusion. What feels like a mistake might be exactly what you need to reach your next level. Think about your own life. How many times have you labeled something as a failure, only to look back later and realize it was a blessing in disguise? Maybe a breakup taught you to set boundaries. Maybe losing a job nudged you toward a better opportunity. In the moment, these events can feel devastating, but they're often the catalysts for our greatest growth. Life isn't black and white. It's filled with shades of gray, twists and turns. Every decision you make contributes to the bigger picture. The so-called wrong paths teach you resilience, creativity, and strength. Without them, you wouldn't be who you are today. Here's a perspective shift. Instead of asking, "What if I make the wrong choice?" ask yourself, "What can I learn from this experience?" When you approach life this way, you stop seeing failure as the end and start seeing it as a stepping stone. Let me give you another example, a real-life one. Consider Steve Jobs. When he was fired from Apple, the company he co-founded, it felt like a crushing blow. Many people thought it was the end of his story. But what did Jobs do? He used that time to create new ventures like Pixar and Next. Those experiences not only transformed his career, but ultimately set him up to return to Apple stronger than ever. His failure wasn't a detour, it was an essential part of his success. Now bring it back to your journey. Maybe you're dealing with a setback right now, a job you didn't get, a relationship that ended, or a project that failed. It's easy to think, this is the end. But what if it's just the beginning? What if this moment is teaching you something, shaping you into the person you need to be for what's coming next? The truth is, no one's journey is perfect. Every path has bumps, twists, and moments of doubt. But those are the moments where you grow the most. They push you to dig deeper, to find solutions, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. Trusting your journey doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It means understanding that those challenges are part of the process. They're not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Here's the thing. Every time you move forward, you're building momentum. Every choice you make, even if it feels uncertain, is progress. Over time, you'll see that the wrong choices were just as crucial as the right ones in getting you where you're meant to go. So the next time you're faced with uncertainty, choose to move forward anyway. You'll be surprised at how far you can go when you trust the process and believe that your journey is working for you. Let me share another story, this time about a man named David. He spent years climbing the corporate ladder, putting in long hours and sacrificing time with family. Then, out of nowhere, he was laid off. At first, David was devastated. He couldn't see how losing his job was anything but a failure. He felt lost and unsure of what to do next. But here's the twist. During his time off, David began to reconnect with his passion for woodworking. a hobby he'd abandoned years ago. What started as a way to pass the time turned into something much bigger. Within a year, David had started his own woodworking business, and before he knew it, he was earning more doing what he loved than he ever did at his corporate job. This is the beauty of life. Every experience, even the tough ones, teaches us something valuable. David's layoff wasn't the end of his story. It was a pivot point. It forced him to step back, reassess, and ultimately find a path that brought him joy and fulfillment. Think about your own life. How many moments that felt like setbacks were actually setups for something greater? Maybe it was a tough breakup that taught you to love yourself more, or a failed project that helped you develop resilience and problem-solving skills. These experiences aren't just random events. They're lessons, guiding you closer to your purpose. The key is to reframe how we view challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, what if we saw them as opportunities to grow? It's not always easy to do this in the moment, especially when things feel overwhelming. But when you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you start to see how everything is connected. Here's a personal example. There was a time when I felt stuck in my career. I was working hard but wasn't seeing the results I wanted. I started to question if I was even on the right path. But instead of giving up, I decided to embrace the situation as a teacher. I asked myself, what can I learn from this? That simple question changed everything. I realized I needed to shift my mindset, refine my skills, and most importantly, trust that the process was unfolding as it should. Looking back now, I can see how that period of doubt was actually setting me up for a breakthrough. Life has a funny way of teaching us lessons when we least expect them. Sometimes it's through success, but more often, it's through struggle. The struggles shape us, mold us, and prepare us for what's to come. They're like the fire that refines gold, burning away the doubts and insecurities to reveal something stronger and more valuable underneath. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned is that we are always evolving. The person you were 5 years ago wouldn't be able to handle the challenges you're facing today. And the person you are today is being prepared for even greater things. This is why trusting the process is so important. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Let's look at another example. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most successful and influential people in the world, faced countless rejections and setbacks early in her career. She was even told she wasn't fit for television. Imagine if she had let those experiences define her. Instead, she used them as fuel to keep going. Each no she received was a lesson, a stepping stone that led her to her ultimate destiny. Here's the takeaway. Every experience, no matter how difficult or confusing, is here to teach you something. When you start to see life this way, it becomes less about avoiding mistakes and more about embracing the journey. You stop fearing failure and start welcoming growth. So the next time life throws you a curveball, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? You might not have all the answers right away, and that's okay. Trust that the lessons will reveal themselves in time. And when they do, you'll see how they've been shaping you into the person you're meant to be. Have you ever found yourself overthinking every decision, replaying every choice in your head, and questioning if you're doing the right thing? It's exhausting, isn't it? Self-doubt can feel like a constant companion, whispering in your ear that you're not good enough or that you're bound to fail. But here's the thing. Self-doubt is nothing more than a distraction. It keeps you stuck, afraid to take the next step, and unsure of your own power. Let me share a quick analogy. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. You've got all the tools you need, your gear, your map, your supplies. But instead of focusing on the climb, you keep stopping to check if you're on the right path. Every time you pause, you lose momentum. You second-guess every turn, and before you know it, hours have passed, and you're still at the base of the mountain. That's what self-doubt does. It convinces you to stop moving, to analyze every detail, and to question your abilities. But here's the truth. There's no perfect path. The only way to climb the mountain is to start walking and trust that you'll figure it out along the way. One of the best ways to combat self-doubt is to remind yourself of what you've already accomplished. Think back to a time when you were faced with a challenge, but you pushed through and succeeded. That's proof of your strength and capability. You've done it before, and you can do it again. Another powerful tool is to reframe your inner dialogue. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" try asking, "What if I succeed?" Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. This simple shift in mindset can change everything. Lastly, remember that action is the antidote to doubt. The more you act, the less time you have to overthink. Take that first step, no matter how small it may seem. Each step you take builds confidence and quiets the voice of self-doubt. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to trust yourself enough to keep moving forward. The rest will fall into place. Your journey is working in your favor. Every step, every challenge, every decision. Even when the path feels uncertain, trust that it's leading you exactly where you're meant to be. Life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Let go of self-doubt and the need to overanalyze. Instead, embrace your path with confidence and curiosity. If this resonated with you, leave a comment and share one lesson you've learned from your journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more inspiration. Trust the process. You're exactly where you need to be.